Now at 5, an official with Schreiber Foods in Carthage says a cyber event impacted their systems.
Leaders from top social media companies testified before lawmakers about if their apps properly protect children. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the latest from senators in the hearing and more on what potentially could come.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A local manufacturer falls victim to what they're calling a cyber event. This is KOAM News at 5. According to a representative from Schreiber Foods, the company had a cyber event which impacted their plants and distribution centers in southwest Missouri and beyond. The event prompted a shutdown that began Friday night. The company, which employs more than 1,700 people in Carthage, Monette, and Mount Vernon, Missouri, says they immediately mobilized a specialized response team that worked to resolve the matter. Since the incident, Communication Director Andrew Tobish says they've made good progress in resolving the issue. Schreiber's plants and distribution centers started bringing the plants back up late last night and early today. The lead agency hosted a conference today to discuss cleanup efforts at Tar Creek in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. Tar Creek was declared a Superfund site by the EPA in 1983 because of contamination from lead and zinc mining near the creek. At today's conference, the agency said every time that area floods, it recontaminates sites that have already been cleaned. The GRDA proposed raising the water level of Grand River, but lead agency officials say that would make things worse at the Tar Creek site.
Our tribes and our peoples, everyone living here, so that we can finally eat the fish and know that it's safe. We can subsist off this land and know that it's safe. You know, we can live like Okies, we can live like tribal peoples. You know, we can have fun on our land, we can recreate.
The conference will continue tomorrow and Thursday. Doug Hetty, some rain in the forecast.
Yeah, not just some rain, a lot of rain in the forecast over the next couple days as our next big, strong storm system, one of our stronger storm systems that we have seen this fall, is going to roll in over the next 2 days. Right now, we've just kind of had clouds most of the day. We are getting some sunshine kind of squeaking in there, but in general, just mostly cloudy skies. But here's our storm system pulling out of the Rockies. We're going to get big time thunderstorms out across central and western Kansas developing later on tonight. And those will head toward us, but not till late tonight. The evening hours look good. Most of us are into the lower 70s. We'll just see the clouds increasing most of the night. But once we get after midnight, we'll start to watch some storms out to our west. And then we will all get into the action very late tonight into tomorrow morning. So we're going to break this whole system down for you all coming up here in just a little bit.
Catch you then. The first nor'easter of the season has begun soaking the region, bringing with it heavy rain and wind. The upper East Coast. Forecasters say it's another bomb cyclone, and it's happening right after the first one blasted the West Coast, leaving a massive cleanup. A flash flood watch is in effect for more than 31 million people across the Northeast. The rain also started coming down hard overnight in Boston. Up to 6 inches of rain could fall before it's all over. Plus, heavy winds are expected to cause widespread power outages. Executives from YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat were grilled by senators about what they're doing to keep our children safe online. The hearing followed testimony from a former Facebook data scientist who says Instagram's photo sharing service appears to seriously harm teens. Skyler Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
In a Senate Commerce Subcommittee hearing, Utah Senator Mike Lee challenged Snapchat executive Jennifer Stout. His staff created an account for a 15-year-old with no preferences and says what showed up on the social media app was wildly inappropriate for a child.
Tips on, quote, why you shouldn't go to bars alone, notices for video games that are rated for ages 17 and up, and articles about porn stars.
I am unfamiliar, and I've taken notes about what you have said that your account surfaced.
Stout joined executives from YouTube and TikTok, answering questions about how their apps are looking out for children on issues from privacy to safety.
He was suffering from dental pain.
Senator Amy Klobuchar shared the story of 19-year-old Devin Noring of Minnesota, who died after taking fentanyl-laced Percocet that he bought on Snapchat.
We have deployed proactive detection measures to get in ahead of what the drug dealers are doing. They are constantly evading our tactics.
I think there's other ways to do this too, as creating liability when this happens. So maybe that'll make you work even faster so we don't lose another kid.
Earlier this month, one Facebook whistleblower told lawmakers the company prioritized profit over user safety, even going as far as generating algorithms potentially exposing children to dangerous content. Frances Haugen, the former Facebook employee who sounded the alarm, testified before a UK Parliament Joint Committee Monday.
Facebook's own research says now the bullying follows children home. It goes into their bedrooms.
Lawmakers also expressed concerns that TikTok is tied to China's communist government, allegations the app's parent company, ByteDance, denies.
If it were not accurate, you would answer the questions, and you have dodged the questions more than any witness I have seen in my 9 years serving in the Senate.
The company says it stores all of TikTok's U.S. data in the United States and has recently tightened its privacy practices for children. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
There are at least 2 bills senators are working on to protect U.S. children. One would make it illegal for social media companies to track a young user's data. The other would make social media companies legally responsible if a child is exploited on an app. Police in Boise, Idaho released more information about yesterday's shooting at a shopping mall. 2 people were killed, 4 others were hurt. After the gunfight, the suspect was transported to the hospital in critical condition. A wounded officer was treated and released. Authorities are not talking about the shooter in custody or a possible motive. Still ahead, why it may be harder to find pumpkins in some areas this year.
It's been a tough growing season for pumpkin farmers across the country. I'm Bradley Blackburn with what it might mean for your pumpkin picking.
And next in Healthwatch, an FDA advisory panel approves Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11. Topping today's Healthwatch, an FDA advisory panel debated and then agreed to recommend Pfizer's COVID-19 shot for younger children. Final approval from the CDC could come as early as next week. Reporter Deborah Alfarone has more from the White House, which is prepared to get those shots out to as many as 28 million American children.
An expert panel voted to recommend the FDA grant emergency use authorization of Pfizer's COVID vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11.
Out of 18 voting members, 17 voted yes, and we had 1 abstain.
Pfizer says its 2-shot, low-dose vaccine is 90.7% effective in that age group. An FDA official told the panel young children have not been spared from illness and hospitalization from COVID.
And there have also been close to 100 deaths, making it one of the top 10 causes of death in this age range during this time.
The committee heard from those advocating for vaccine authorization.
We can protect our school-age children immediately and further shield them from short and long-term physical and mental health consequences.
And from those concerned about possible side effects of the vaccine, including myocarditis, a rare heart condition.
Please do not assume that this vaccine is safe in our children until all data, including long-term data, has been carefully evaluated.
The White House says it has secured enough doses to vaccinate every eligible child, and that those doses will be going out to pharmacies and pediatricians' offices as soon as the decision is finalized. Moderna says it will soon seek approval for its low-dose pediatric vaccine. Moderna says its vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 6 to 11. The study of more than 4,700 kids showed the vaccine creates a strong immune response. The majority of adverse effects were mild to moderate, such as fatigue, headache, and fever. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
The FDA is still reviewing Moderna's data for kids ages 12 to 17. The Pfizer vaccine is already approved for teens in that age group. A new study in Canada warns stimulants prescribed to older adults could cause heart problems. Researchers say the drugs used to treat a variety of conditions, including depression, fatigue, and post-stroke recovery, are linked to a 40% increased risk of cardiovascular issues in the first month of use. A team of international researchers has discovered biomarkers in urine that can help identify COVID-19 patients at high risk of kidney failure. Kidney issues are extremely common among hospitalized coronavirus patients, And doctors believe screening for these biomarkers will pinpoint those at risk for kidney injury. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a special quilt commemorating Missouri's 200 years of statehood makes a stop in Joplin.
Plus, we got to dry out for about a day, but more rain rolling in late tonight. We'll have those details coming up. It's turned out to be a pretty decent Tuesday for us today. We've had a lot of clouds, but temperature's not bad. Most of us have been into lower 70s for highs, so significantly warmer than what we saw yesterday, about 10 degrees warmer than what we did see yesterday. Overall, looks pretty good. Near 70, lower 70s, mid 70s once you get out across southeastern Kansas, also northeastern parts of Oklahoma. All right, 72 right now in Joplin. Dew point sitting at 61. Relative humidity is at 68%. And we're going to drop back through the 60s slowly through the evening hours. In fact, I think we'll only bottom out at about 58-ish later on tonight, so quite a bit warmer than what we have seen over the past couple nights. Have had a lot of clouds, which have been streaming through, mid and upper level clouds all day long. We'll continue to get these clouds increasing as we go through the overnight hours. Nothing underneath them, so we are staying dry, but we are seeing the beginnings of our next storm system really getting organized. It's this big trough out across the Rockies, and we're going to get some pretty big thunderstorms out across western Kansas, down through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas as we go through the evening hours, and eventually that line will head toward us late tonight. But most of the night, we're just dealing with clouds. Here's 3 a.m. Thunderstorms starting to increase out across our western counties, and then mainly move into most areas very late tonight or early tomorrow morning, 5, 6, 7 a.m. We are going to have thunderstorms embedded in. I'm not expecting anything severe, but we could have a few stronger storms as we go through the day. So here's 9:30 in the morning. It's just periods of showers and thunderstorms, mainly on the Kansas and Oklahoma side, but all this is going to slowly work east. Temperatures fairly steady, right around 60 as we go through the day. Here's 2:30 in the afternoon, just another round of showers and thunderstorms increasing across the region. So here's your day planner. Just rain all day long. Temperatures fairly consistent, near 60 most of the day. We're going to have southeasterly winds in the morning switching to the east as we head into the afternoon. Showers, thunderstorms continue for us tomorrow night. Here's midnight, and then after midnight, the rain really picks up again. We get on the backside of this system. Not much in the way of thunderstorms tomorrow night and into Thursday, but we are definitely just going to have rain. Here's 9 a.m. Thursday. Rain continues all the way into the afternoon. Then finally, the rain will start to work out by Thursday evening, and then we'll get a chance to dry out. But that's pretty much 2 full days that we're just going to have rain across the region, which, I mean, we could use the rain, but it's going to be really wet the next couple days. Look at our rainfall amounts. I think a lot of areas are going to pick up 1 upwards to 2, maybe 2.5 inches of rain. This goes all the way into Friday morning. So the next 48 hours definitely are going to be on the wet side. 60 tomorrow, so it's a cool rain. 60 showers, thunderstorms, just plain old rain on Thursday. Look at our high, 53 degrees. So a chilly rain. Friday, we're going to have a lot of clouds, back to 57. Now the weekend looks pretty good. If you have Halloween plans Saturday or Sunday night, we'll be into the mid 60s. And then here comes the rain again on Monday and Tuesday of next week. There's even hints that we may get a little snow mixed in by next week.
No.
I know, kind of crazy.
It is. More on that to come, I'm sure, in the days ahead. Thanks, Doug. Missouri this year is celebrating 200 years of statehood. So the State Historical Society of Missouri commissioned a special quilt to be made to celebrate. That quilt is being moved throughout the state and today made its way to Joplin City Hall. The bicentennial quilt is sectioned into blocks, one for each county in Missouri and for the city of St. Louis.
We've had tremendous response from people. I feel like it's something that really pulls emotion out of folks because each block tells a story in the quilt and it gets people talking about like, well, I may have learned something new about my own county or the county next to me.
That quilt's going to be on display for the public on the first floor of Joplin City Hall tomorrow and Thursday. You can also view specific county blocks on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Check it out. Coming up, a CDC rule impacting cruises ends soon. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Ernest Ulbricht served in the U.S. Navy from 1944 to 1947. The Seneca, Missouri native was stationed in the South Pacific, and we salute Ingerman First Class Ernest Ulbricht, a four-state hero. Topping Consumer Watch, a change in cruise regulations. Beginning in January, cruises will no longer have to follow CDC rules tied to the pandemic. The government agency says the rules will become recommendations at the start of 2022. Cruises had been under a no-sail order until late last year when it was replaced with a conditional order. Those conditions meant ships could set sail only if 95% of passengers were vaccinated. This is National Pumpkin Day, but picking pumpkins is a little pricier this year because of a difficult growing season in many parts of the country. Bradley Blackburn explains why.
Kimberly Vasquez, Alex Cassiano, and their pup are searching for the perfect pumpkin.
We want it to be vibrant, medium size.
Picture perfect.
Picture perfect, exactly.
At Elwood Pumpkin Farm on New York's Long Island, they got the gourd and the photo. But this year, the big picture for growers is complicated.
Pumpkins, if you look at it the wrong way, it might not happen.
Farmer Lee Itzler has been growing pumpkins here for a decade. He says rain from two massive storms came at the worst possible time. It stopped bees from pollinating pumpkin flowers, so many pumpkins just never grew, cutting into this season's crop. How long has it been growing?
120 days.
120 days.
The big ones take the longest.
In the western states, drought forced farmers to scale back planting. Nash Ranch in California is trucking in pumpkins.
I had to order a lot of pumpkins to supplement our own crop. So you have to go into it just knowing that you're not going to make any money.
More than 4 in 10 consumers plan to carve a pumpkin this year, but it's not just the big jack-o'-lanterns that are impacted. It's also been a challenging season for smaller pie pumpkins. In Illinois, pumpkin blight surged due to heat and moisture, threatening to cause shortages of canned pumpkin for Thanksgiving pies.
Oh, it's too heavy?
Most people who want a pumpkin should be able to find one.
It's the fall. We wanted pumpkins to carve.
But the selection could be slim and more expensive.
Thank you
again.
Bye-bye.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Huntington, New York.
Independent bookstores all over the world have been fighting to stay afloat against e-retailers like Amazon. In France, lawmakers have tried for years to give them a leg up by introducing minimum book prices and prohibiting free shipping. Well, now new legislation is going further, setting a minimum cost for shipping books so brick and mortar stores can keep competing. Amazon lobbied against the legislation, saying low delivery charges enabled equal access to books no matter where a customer lives. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more information on this year's first nor'easter impacting the Northeast U.S. Then on KOAM News at 6, an area cybersecurity expert provides tips on how to protect yourself and your business from an attack. Plus, it's spooky season. We're going to learn about what goes into preserving a haunted house. And a Kansas City Chiefs player takes some Kansas City families on a shopping spree. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Hey, big bucks for a rare Super Mario Bros. 2 game that hit the auction block. It sold for more than $80,000. The 1988 video game was found sealed and in pristine condition in an Indiana closet, but that's not the most ever paid. Back in August, an unopened Super Mario game sold for $2 million. So, good reason to check your attic if you haven't already. That'd be quite a find, wouldn't it?
It would. I can tell you I don't have one of those up in my attic, though.
I don't either.
So.
I don't either. It might not be popping up in any garage sales anytime soon.
No.
Rain coming.
Yeah,
Lots of it.
I think most of the evening looks fine, but late tonight, especially after 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, periods of showers, thunderstorms. Some of these could be strong tomorrow. I'm not expecting anything severe. Temperatures kind of hold near 60 degrees, but tomorrow's a washout. Thursday's a washout. It's pretty much going to rain for the next 48 hours.
Wow. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We'll be right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.